You assume the environment is neutral, that it exists, that it functions, that you simply participate inside it. Markets exist. Corporations operate. Platforms connect. Institutions regulate. It feels structural, impersonal, objective. But environments are not neutral. They are engineered. And engineering always serves incentives. A shopping mall is not designed for your financial discipline. It is designed for your spending. A credit system is not built for your freedom. It is built for your participation. A subscription model is not optimized for your long-term savings. It is optimized for recurring revenue. This is not malicious. It is mathematical. Every structure has a beneficiary. Every system has a revenue logic. Every environment has a direction. You walk into a space, physical or digital, and assume you are the customer. But often, you are the product. Social platforms monetize attention. Financial institutions monetize borrowing. Retail ecosystems monetize impulse. And each interface is refined to increase extraction, not restraint. Buttons are positioned intentionally. Pricing tiers are structured deliberately. Notifications are timed strategically. Friction is removed from spending. Friction is added to withdrawal. You experience convenience. The system experiences yield. This is architecture. If you assume neutrality, you blame yourself. You think lack of discipline is the issue. You think budgeting is the missing skill. But discipline inside an extraction-based environment is defensive. Ownership inside that environment is offensive. The escalator moves upward, but only if you step on it correctly. Otherwise, you remain in the lobby. And most environments are designed so that stepping incorrectly is easier. Credit is easier than savings. Consumption is easier than investment. Subscription is easier than ownership. Ease is not accidental. It increases participation. And participation generates revenue. Not for you, for the structure. The system is not broken. It is optimized. Optimized for flow. Optimized for engagement. Optimized for recurring extraction. When you mistake optimization for neutrality, you assume outcomes are personal failures. But outcomes are often engineered probabilities. The environment shapes behavior. Behavior shapes results. Results feel personal. But the incentives were never designed for your accumulation. Every system runs on incentives. Not intentions, not slogans. Incentives. If a company profits from your spending, it will optimize for spending. If a bank profits from your debt, it will optimize for borrowing. If a platform profits from your attention, it will optimize for distraction. Outcomes follow incentive structures, not marketing language. Look at credit. Approval is instant. Swipe is frictionless. Payments are automatic. Savings? Manual. Delayed. Less rewarded. That asymmetry is not accidental. It increases utilization. Subscription models remove decision points. Auto-renew. Silent billing. Bundled tiers. You don't feel the outflow, but the structure records recurring revenue. Retail pricing exploits thresholds. $9.99 instead of $10. Limited time offers. One-click checkout. Each element reduces hesitation, not because hesitation is bad for you, because hesitation is bad for revenue. Even financial products are structured this way. High-yield promises with hidden fees. low minimum payments extending debt life, rewards programs encouraging spending velocity. You are nudged toward behaviors that maximize yield for the issuer, not accumulation for you. The environment is tuned. Friction is strategically distributed. Spending is easy. Canceling is difficult. Borrowing is immediate. Building equity is gradual. Extraction is optimized. Ownership requires intention. And because the environment is consistent, your behavior becomes predictable. Predictable behavior becomes revenue. The system doesn't need to control you. It only needs to shape probabilities. Defaults are powerful. Auto-enroll, auto-pay, auto-renew. Opt-out requires effort. Opt-in requires nothing. This is incentive architecture, not conspiracy, not chaos. Design. Design that aligns corporate survival with your participation. When you assume neutrality, you think outcomes are personal discipline failures. When you see incentives, you understand outcomes are statistical expectations. And statistical expectations favor the designer. The structure doesn't need you broke. It needs you engaged, subscribed, borrowing, consuming. Extraction scales through repetition. You optimize budget spreadsheets. The system optimizes behavior loops. One is defensive. The other is systemic. If this feels familiar, if you've felt this pressure but never had words for it, this channel isn't here to motivate you. It's here to help you see clearly. If that resonates, like the video, subscribe. More clarity is coming. Environments don't force behavior, they shape it. Subtly, repeatedly, predictably. If spending is easy, you spend more. If borrowing is instant, you borrow sooner. If rewards follow consumption, you associate pleasure with outflow. No one instructs you directly. The structure guides you. Repetition creates normalization. Subscription becomes standard. Debt becomes common. Monthly payments become routine. What was once exceptional becomes expected. This is how extraction stabilizes, through familiarity, not coercion. You don't question auto-renewals. You don't calculate total interest across years. You don't track small recurring outflows, because the environment fragments cost, and fragments hide scale. Behavior adapts to interface. If notifications prompt engagement, engagement increases. If credit extends purchasing power, immediate gratification wins. Long-term equity loses to short-term comfort. Your financial life becomes reactive, responding to prompts, responding to due dates, responding to incentives placed in front of you. Instead of allocating deliberately, even language conditions behavior. Minimum payment due. Earn rewards. Upgrade your plan. The phrasing reduces friction. It reframes obligation as opportunity. The system celebrates consumption. It rarely celebrates accumulation. Consumption generates revenue. Accumulation reduces participation. Over time, the conditioned behaviors compound. Small spending habits, routine borrowing, comfort with leverage that benefits the lender. Not dramatic decisions, statistical ones. And because outcomes unfold gradually, it feels self-inflicted. You think discipline is the solution. You think budgeting alone will reverse it. But discipline inside an extraction-designed environment is resistance, not alignment. Ownership requires friction, delayed gratification, allocation over impulse, equity over upgrade. And friction feels unnatural in a frictionless system. The environment trains reflex. Ownership requires intention. Reflex scales extraction. Intention builds leverage. Most people never realize they were conditioned. They assume preference, but preference is often shaped by defaults, shaped by design, shaped by repetition. The system doesn't need you undisciplined. It needs you predictable. Predictability stabilizes revenue. Revenue stabilizes the structure. If environments are designed for extraction, then drifting inside them is expensive. Not dramatically, quietly. Every default you accept, every subscription you forget, every loan you normalize, each one aligns you with the system's incentives, not yours. The structure doesn't require your failure. It requires your participation. And participation without ownership produces predictable outcomes. You cannot redesign the system. You cannot remove its incentives. You cannot stop optimization. But you can stop assuming neutrality. The shift is not emotional, it is positional. Move from consumption to allocation, from subscription to ownership, from reaction to intention. Ownership changes your alignment. When you own equity, you benefit from engagement instead of funding it. When you own productive assets, you collect revenue instead of supplying it. The same structure that extracts from participants rewards owners. Credit becomes tool instead of trap. Platforms become distribution instead of distraction. Markets become leverage instead of noise. The environment doesn't change. Your position inside it does. Drift is expensive. Design is deliberate. If you drift, you fund the design. If you allocate, you benefit from it. The system was not built with you in mind. It was built for yield, and yield flows toward ownership. If this changed how you see the environment around you, subscribe. Like this if it clarified something. We don't fight systems. We position inside them, because positioning compounds.